أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن الا وانتم مسلمون يا ايها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء فاتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والارحام ان الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا ايها الذين امنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم اعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما اما بعد فان اصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الامور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Yes, we are grateful to Allah. Today we have something very important to discuss, something very exciting to discuss. May Almighty Allah put al-barakah in all that we have to discuss today. The topic of discussion for today is called trust issues in marriage. It is one of the marriage super glues that we are going to be talking about. Marriage what? Yes, marriage super glues. There are super glues for papers and the rest. Then marriage has its own super glue too. And that's what we are going to look at. Marriage super glue. We had to learn about marriage in the hard way, so many of us. And which is the same way most people learn about it. Some of us, we had to go to school of hard knocks before we could understand what marriage and marital relationships are all about. And as wonderful as marriage is, no amount of premarital counseling can fully prepare anybody for what they are going to experience in marriage. Everybody thought they understood one thing or the other. Everybody thought they knew what marriage would be all about. It's until when you enter, then you see that, this is not the way I thought it would be. Sometimes you are surprised pleasantly, sometimes you are surprised and it's not a pleasant experience, that you are so surprised. In fact, you become so surprised that you are surprised. So generally, marriages are under attack. If you observe it very well, we all understand that marriage today is under siege. It's as if some people are plotting against marriages. Many young people doubt they doubt that it is possible to have a lifelong marriage. Some people feel that it's not possible for you to be married to the same person forever. Meaning that the norm is that after some years, the marriage should pack up, then you move on with another person. Then it is exceptional. It is very strange to see people marry and they remain married for the rest of their lives. So you see, the norm has become the exception now. And it is very painful, it is very unfortunate. So the young people have seen so much divorce, so much so that divorces seem normal to them. And they are right in some senses, because divorces happen. It happens in the world, it happens in the mosque, it happens in Islamic organizations, it happens amongst Muslims, it happens amongst those who are not Muslims, it happens in every culture to whatever degree. You can no longer say certain cultures divorce more, or a particular culture divorces more than another culture. Every culture now has their own share of broken marriages, of divorces, and what have you. So husbands and wives, they don't always keep their vows, they don't always keep their trust. Sometimes they walk away from the marriage, sometimes they just drift apart, sometimes they just stay together and each person is waiting for who is going to die first. You know, I can't kill you, I can't divorce you, I can't run away from home, and I can't stay married to you. So the next thing is to say, if you die first, I will have my peace. If I die first, you have your peace. And I'll go and have my peace wherever is more peaceful. Whether in the grave or in the home, at least one of the two should be more peaceful at the end of the day. So marriage is both a challenge and a blessing. Yes, marriage is a gift from Allah, but some people don't always see it that way. If you ask some people what is the best thing that ever happened to you in life, their marriage will not be the first thing they will mention. Yes, what's the thing that gives you the greatest joy? They will not remember to mention their marriage. Some women will say their children are the ones that give them the joy. They won't mention their husband in the list of 1 to 10. The husband will come number 8. Yes, the husband will come number 8, and then lipstick number 9. Effective gas cooker number 10. You know, their children come first, then maybe telephone comes next, then some other friends comes third as the degrees are. You get as a build. So marriage is a challenge in the best of circumstances, but can also be a great blessing. Yes, it can also be great blessings in a society like our own, where healthy marriages are, you know, the desires of everyone. Some people have it nicely, some people enjoy it, and some people do not really enjoy it. But we know very well, as far as Islam is concerned, that marriage is a blessing on its own. If a person now finds something unbecoming, something unexpected in their marriages, we will not blame the marital institution or the marriage institution. Rather, we will blame the individuals that are involved. And you will all agree with me that it's not marriage that's a problem. It is the people that are in that marriage that are that may be the issue. They may not understand some things, and they may not know some things. And they may know and understand, but they may not apply. They may not understand the application of the things that they know. Now, the topic is trust issues in marriage. And we have searched that one of the things that cause problem in marriages is matters of trust. Many other things can come, they may be symptomatic, but that trust may be the core, the main issue that some couples do have. Now let's look at trust now. Let's be searching for trust. I'll tell you some stories and give you some examples. Are you ready now? One man bought a new radio. He brought it home. He placed the radio on the refrigerator and plugged it in and turned it to his favorite radio station. As soon as he did that one, he pulled out all the knobs for tuning it. You understand? He had already tuned in all he ever wanted to expect, all he ever expected to hear from the radio. You understand? So he broke the knob for tuning the radio, and he left the radio as it is. Why did he do this? Number one, it could be that he didn't want anybody to change it, so he didn't trust them that they would not change it. So he removed the knob from there. Number two, it is possible that he only wants to hear what he wants to hear. He doesn't want to hear any other thing. So in some marriages, for example, you see that people have tuned their marriages to a certain extent. They have arranged their marriages in some ways. From the day of wedding like this, they have already tuned to the station they want to listen to. And they have already removed the knob. That means he doesn't want to hear anything. His mind is now closed. All he wants to hear are those things that he believes about marriage. Any other thing that you bring, is not ready to accept it. That's the example of some marriages as we have it now. And so, lack of trust. The man doesn't trust the woman doesn't trust the man. So both of them have removed the knob of tuning their radio. They only listen to what they want to listen to. Any other thing apart from that, there will be no frequency, there will be no reception, there will be no network. So lack of trust is so bad that it will make somebody to break the knob for tuning his radio. Let me tell you another thing. During a nikah, you know, when people are being wedded, the imam asked the husband to be. The imam said, are you entering this marriage at your own will, or somebody else is forcing you? to be in this marriage. Then the man looked at the wife to be, and the wife to be pointed finger to him and said, say yes now. Say yes now. Why are you looking at me? What does that tell you? What does it tell you? Yes, it tells you that somehow misplacement of trust have stopped people from being themselves. They don't trust themselves. They expect other people to be trustworthy on their behalf. And at the end of the day, marriages go moribund because some things are not done at people's will. So when you deceive yourself, you actually distrust yourself. He couldn't answer yes by himself. He had to look at the wife first, and then I would say, tell him yes. And the question is, are you being forced into this marriage or not? So lack of honesty, personal honesty, is another problem of trust that we have. Then some things to trust are very apparent, some are not so apparent, some are very subtle. You will not quickly notice it. In other words, should you trust yourself 100%? I've asked this question again. I am saying that it is good that you trust yourself, but can you trust yourself? Two questions. Should you trust yourself 100%, or can you trust yourself 100%? Let me give you this example. You see, if you squeeze orange, and you squeeze it very well, squeeze it and squeeze it, is it not orange juice that will come out from it? It's orange juice, not pineapple juice, not mango juice. If you squeeze more and more, what will come out of it is orange juice, because it is orange. Now, if somebody should squeeze you now, squeeze you, give you so much help, so much headache, what is going to be coming out of you? Is it going to be prayer or curse? Then somebody squeeze you, say, Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khaira. Somebody frustrate your life more, you say, may Allah bless you. Somebody frustrate you more, you say, may Allah bless you. When they squeeze you and squeeze to the extent, what are you going to say? You will say, go better for you. Now, what will eventually come out of you when somebody frustrates you? Anger, outburst. Does it mean that is what is inside you? Yes. It means we have both good and bad in us, all of us. What about me? Maybe including me too. We all have our bad sides. Let me use that English, like fella, bad thing that we can do. In other words, don't trust yourself to the extent that you put yourself to a tight corner. Don't make people to offend you. Don't think you are going to be smiling all the time when people keep giving you shit. Let me use that language, forgive me. In other words, don't even give room for people to push you to the wall. Because when people push you to the wall, even a goat can bite when pushed to the wall. Avoid putting yourself in embarrassing situations that will make you to lose your cool. Whenever you find an earthworm inside a plate of spaghetti, it is not normal. An earthworm and spaghetti, they may look similar, but they are not the same. The earthworm is not stupid to be crawling into a plate of spaghetti looking for a lost cousin, right? So don't put yourself in a situation where it's going to be so awkward that you have to react in a way you never wanted to react. In fact, don't be poor, because poverty is risky. You may think you have iman. When poverty pushes you to a certain extent, you'll be doing MMM and looking for riba money to collect. I'm telling you. You'll be looking for riba. They will say, but it's haram. You say, to Allah will understand. What can I do? You think you have iman, you will never commit shirk. Make sure you are not poor, and make sure you don't get into some disease. That somebody will say, please, just drink this. Just drink this and say this incantation. Just say 3 times, you are going to get well. Then you begin. Then you continue and continue like that. I don't know what that means anyway, but if you begin to say some incantation, then you bring into it, and then they see your life will be better. Poverty is risky. Don't trust yourself to say, I'm going to be patient when poverty comes. Better don't be poor. Too much riches is risky too. Don't think you are going to be a gentleman or a gentlewoman when you get very rich, for where you will not even go for programs again. when you get rich to a certain extent, you just change all of your friends. And some old friend will just greet you and say, have we met? Excuse me. Do I know you? You say, Kini, you and I, we went to secondary school. Excuse me, are you talking to me like that? When money comes, husband may not know wife again. Wife don't trust yourself too much. But just have some little trust for yourself. And like I said, no matter how bad it is, a lion will never eat grass. Now, number 2, trust in your spouse. I'm trying to say this now. Should you trust your spouse 100%? Hey, if you say no, let me know if your wife is here while you say that. Hey, will you trust your husband 100%? No. Allah Akbar Kabira. Well, whatever it is, let there be some aspect of trust that you have one another. It may not be 100% like that per se. You understand what I mean? Because your spouse is a human being. I'm saying this because I want us to understand that your spouse is a human being, not an angel. Your husband or your wife may be a saint, but not an angel. Saints can commit sin and they will ask for forgiveness, right? It's only angels that can never offend Allah for whatever reason it is. So what I'm saying is, it's a blessing to have a faithful wife or a faithful husband. It's a blessing to have a man that you can trust to some extent. It's a blessing to have a wife that your mind will be at rest when you are not together. But for some couples, this is where the problems are. They don't trust one another. And that is why, Allah Akbar. Now tell me about this situation now. If you are the man, you have a house help. And when your wife is traveling, she insisted that the house help should follow her on the journey. What are you going to feel? Now say, but why will you take the house help with you? You say, anything can happen now. Wait. Is she being honest? Or she is distrusting the husband? As a husband, how will you feel? You just see her packing the what's your house help name? Sarah, to go and pack your things. What's happening? You say we are traveling together. Is it not just for 3 days? Anything can happen, I can't leave her behind. What would the husband feel? Is it that you don't trust me? But has she done what is right or what is wrong? Right or wrong? Okay, in all honesty, can anything happen or not? A house help that is matured, see everything, follow come. Everything factory fitted. Truly anything can happen. You know what the prophet said? The prophet said, La yakhluwana rajulun bi imra'atin illa kana thalithahum shaitan. A man and a woman cannot stay together except that shaitan will be the third person. So if she says house help, she will follow her out. That doesn't mean she doesn't trust the husband. She's just taking precaution. If it were the other way around, the man wants to travel and he says the driver should travel with him. The driver that drives the wife around say, look, Umu, you have to be driving yourself. This guy is going with me. But let him stay. He said, no. You can't trust anybody. Who is he saying you can't trust? You or the driver? Or you can just choose anyone you like. The driver. Say you can't trust anybody. But how about the wife? You can't trust her too. But you not say it. You not say that you don't trust her. But you are taking precaution. Thank you. I like the use of that language. Now, let me tell you this one now. To trust each other is not just the assurance. It's not just the oath that we take. It's not just the, okay, I know you can't do anything bad. To trust each other is also not to put each other in the situation of distrust. I hope you understand how this trust thing works now. It's not that you don't trust one another. It's not that you don't have confidence in each other, but you know you are not supposed to give room for certain things. In fact, when we quarrel every day, when we fight from day to day, that doesn't mean we don't trust one another. When we are jealous about each other's phone calls, we say, who are you talking to on the phone? That doesn't mean we don't trust one another. But we are trying to avoid situations that will lead to that something that will destroy that trust. Remember the Quran says, La taqrabu zina, don't move close to adultery or fornication. Talk less of committing it. So husband and wife can help one another and ensure that you don't push each other to a situation that there will be suspicion or there will be lack of trust. So number 2 is the trust in one spouse. There's this thing they say you shouldn't trust a woman too much in some cultures. Do you believe that too? Do you believe that? They say don't trust women too much. Some cultures, they know that. They say if you trust a woman, she will betray you. True or false? No, be honest with me. So if you trust a woman too much, she will betray you. Then if you trust a man too much, there will be problem. Yeah, maybe I'll tell you more about that later. But let me tell you this, and you think about it, whether you can just trust each other so much like that. Husband and wife, they were sitting down, they got bored, so they said, let's play a game. Let's play a game. I'm going to mention, that's the wife. The wife said to the husband, I'm going to mention a fruit, then you are going to mention a color. If I mention a color, you are going to mention a fruit. You understand that kind of play now? Okay, if I say banana, you say yellow, something like that. If I say apple, you say red. You know, that kind of a joke. So when they both agreed, the man said, okay, let's start. The woman said, okay, if I mention the fruit, you stay in this side. Then if I mention the color, you stay on this side. You understand it now? You stay here and you stay here. I'll mention this. It's even good for exercise. Fruit, you come here. Color, you come here. Now let's start. The woman said, orange. Then the man was standing still. He didn't know whether to move to the right or to move to the left. The woman said, orange, now orange. The man stood there confused because he didn't know whether it's orange color or orange fruit she was talking about. In other words, don't mess with women. Some cultures believe that, look, you don't mess with women because you can't trust them. If they want to mess you up, they will mess you up. Do you believe that in your culture too? Do you believe it? Honestly, I'm serious. You are not sure whether to say you believe it. What of ladies? Do you believe it truly? That no man should mess with women because women can be very, you people are very smart. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, you men are very smart. With kaid, the Quran described it as kaid. It's the kind of wiles that women have. You people are gifted when it comes to that. Any man that messes with you, you can mess him up in 5 minutes. Allahu Akbar. But the fact of the matter is, when there's distrust, there's going to be corruption. And when there's corruption, things will not go the way they should go again. If only husband and wife can trust one another, men will be men and women will be women. If a man can be trustworthy to speak the truth and to do what is right, to be honest with himself and to commit himself to his family, not to make a promise to his wife that he will not fulfill, you will see that Allah will continue to elevate him. He will continue to grow, to be stronger and well respected by the wife. But when a man is not trustworthy, when the woman is suspicious of every move of his, after a while there will be no respect for that man again. And you see that marriage will begin to deteriorate. A man that's supposed to roar will now be sounding like an ordinary cat. And this is exactly why many marriages have broken up today. Lack of trust. May Allah forgive us and guide us aright. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.